tough crowd. I keep reading about these discrimination lawsuits against McDonald's. First, a woman with a port wine stain was overlooked for promotion. And today I was reading about a 400-pound man who's suing McDonald's because they wouldn't hire him because he's kind of unattractive. And ugly people get abused all the time. You know, it's a hard world out there. It's a mean world. What's more insulting than that is these people who try to appropriate the ugly people's pain. Like these models that go, oh, I was ugly in high school. Well, you're 17 now, so when was that, 3 months ago? Lying whore. Go back to your table, do another line with that Eurotrash billionaire and his bisexual wife, all right? I think that what we should do, I have a solution, is that we should have Ugly Appreciation Day once a year, and all the hot girls just agree to sleep with one ugly bastard that day, and all the handsome guys will sleep with one skag, I believe we used to use the word. You say to Jennifer Aniston, look, you had a good life. You don't mind if Brad gives Millie the mole-covered nurse's aid a night she'll never forget? Oh! You're worried about your hair. Look at my hairline, okay? I'd rather be able to comb it. Look at this. I'm almost finished. Let me ask you something. I know, folks. I was being falsely humble. I still look good. I was like Bruce Willis when he was going bald. Maybe I'm pushing it. Let me ask you something. Should there be laws to protect discrimination against the unattractive? Laurie, Kilmartin.
Yeah, there should be laws to protect the unattractive. They should actually be forced in public to make the rest of us feel better about ourselves. Like, if I feel like a really beautiful woman in the street, I feel like old and disgusting and fat. But if I feel like a little girl with a cleft palate, I feel pretty.
What are we talking about?
Discrimination of looks.
Like that McDonald's case. I don't think there should be any laws forcing people to hire the fat people. But no, I don't think there should be any laws. But it does feel wrong in this case. It's McDonald's. I mean, the guy, he wasn't looking to be an aerobics instructor. He wanted to flip grease burgers. You know, it's like McDonald's hires retarded people to work the cash register. They can let this tubby dude work the something.
It should be law. Look, man, I got fired for being fat once at JP Licks Ice Cream, and I got fired because I couldn't maneuver. And it's just I'm too fat to maneuver to like this dude got to get this scoop and this dude got to get this scoop, and I was rubbing up, and I should have been fired. Look, look, man. Sometimes, man, like that dude make me lose my appetite. If I'm going to order food, I don't want to look at them. I don't look at them.
Certain industries, it makes sense.
Yes, it makes sense.
Appetite?
If I manage a JP Licks and you come in for a job, I got to look at the bottom line and say, this isn't going to work for my profit margin.
Oh, that's because I'll eat the... Shouldn't he be crawling out of a Lucky Charms bar?
I think it's great that he got into it just before he went to crowd work.
All right, look. We all know, why do I bother?
I'm saying that you should get fired for certain, look, man.
But I don't think that's why you're fired. I know how you are, and I bet your attitude was awful at the job. And the first day you walk around bossing people around, screaming, abusing the customers, making sexual overtures to some of the girls online.
Holy mother of God, what the... Easy, Tiger. Hey, look, I got fired because I was fat. At least that's what they told me. I could not do what I was supposed to do. But then again, short people should get fired if they can't help me. If I go someplace and somebody short that works there asks me to get something down for them to get for me, then they should be fired.
It's true. I think,
but the problem is that in this case,
I don't want to talk about fat or short. Sorry, I was talking ugly people. Ugly.
Them too. Look, man, ugly is a disease. Don't try to sit there and try to be some kind of whatever you're trying to be by saying, oh, we don't know what ugly is. Shut up. Ugly is ugly. Somebody is physically bothering your appetite.
I beg your pardon, sir.
No, but look how much Mikhail Gorbachev did with a port wine stain.
But he had a dignity about his port wine stain. But when some of them get real swollen and it looks like a clam or whatever it looks on your face, I don't want to see the dude.
But I'm not even talking about just that. I just meant plain ugly.
Ugly without a disability, that kind of
ugly without a reason.
Yeah, whatever, man.
So what is the point? So if you're ugly, you shouldn't be.
My point is that life is unfair, and you have to admit the better looking people are, they get better jobs. People smile when they see them. Ugly people have a hard road to hoe, as my mother used to say.
And it's tough to be a hoe, actually, when you're
ugly. I know. Believe me, I was saying the same thing I was saying. My mother's name, but now coming to that one too.
No.
Also. There's a new hit reality show called Extreme Makeover on ABC where they give people plastic surgery for free. Sometimes about $50,000 worth of plastic surgery for free. Now, I don't believe in plastic surgery right now. Just look at me. You know, I mean, God obviously has bestowed some great gifts, but 10 years from now, I'm sure I'm going to have hair plugs and like false teeth and, you know, my pants will be bulging out like I tried to shoplift a live eel out of Petland discounts. I don't know.
I'm getting aroused.
Thanks. So the point is, do you think it's good plastic surgery or bad?
Well, I live in Los Angeles, so I can speak for plastic surgery. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, every day the bar gets raised because these women are getting it. So if you want to be competitive, and it's at the point where every woman has breast implants and lip implants and men have penis implants, I just want to see in 1,000 years when they're digging up what was L.A., and everything will have decomposed except for the lips and the breasts and the penises, and they're going to be going, what the hell was this place?
And by the way, just as a side note, I know you're going to not believe because he's not tall and he's Irish, but I've heard the rumor on Greg that he's packing a wallop, and I'm not kidding.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
You heard that too?
Yeah,
female comedians talk.
Yeah.
Apparently you got quite a little,
I'll tell you what else female comics do, otherwise they wouldn't know the rumor.
You heard that too, right?
Yeah, it's out there.
Yeah, what about like a mother who gets plastic surgery and her daughter looks nothing like her? So she's like 16 years old going, look, you got to get that nose fixed or people are going to think you're adopted.
Right.
No, I saw triplets with breast implants, and there's got to be pressure on the third to get it, or she's going to throw off the set.
Yeah. But I think that show also, part of the problem with that show is that it glorifies plastic surgery, and it makes it seem like plastic surgery is the first step, you know, the first thing you should do. And if you're a kid, for example, if you have a huge nose, now you think I got to get a nose job, where maybe you should just try to get the rest of your head to be bigger.
It's a radical medical breakthrough out there.
I hate to make it racial again, but black people aren't really getting plastic surgery, man.
No, you're right. Michael Jackson, he's
He don't count. Oh. Touche.
Okay, folks, you get to watch the commercials. I have to be alone with these people and reassess what's going on here. We'll be right back. Oh, boy. Okay. The ban on assault weapons expires next year, and House Republicans aren't planning on renewing it. Starting next year, Uzis and AK-47s could be legal again. I didn't even know there was a weapons ban, by the way. Somebody forgot to tell Compton. Yeah, that's right. Now listen. And it really will affect rap for the worse. Let's face it. What is a rap without a Glock? Nothing rhymes with musket. Creeping down the street with my single action shots. Jam sometimes. Damn this thing. Hey, watch the barrel, man. You almost took off my mirror. Does anybody think this assault weapons ban should not be banned? How about you, Greg Fitzsimmons? Greg Musket Fitzsimmons himself.
Greg the Musket.
Greg automatic rapid fire.
Isn't there rapid fire? Said it was. I haven't seen a lot of deer recently, but I mean these hunters talk about that they have the right to have the cutting edge technology. Deer have not evolved a lot unless they sprouted wings or developed the ability to disappear.
Unless they burn you in a crack deal or something, right? You don't need an automatic weapon.
Yeah, I mean if it's a gang thing, that's one thing, but deer in general.
Well, it's easy to have the sort of like condescending elite attitude when we live here in the cities, but you know, if you live out in like a ranch in Montana, you know, you gotta shoot varmints.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a lot easier if you can just spray the little bastards, you know.
No, I'm all for the automatic weapons on the farms because, you know, stray bullets when you live in Idaho, not a huge danger.
Right.
So get an assault weapon, but it's got to be attached to a tractor. That's the only way you can buy it.
What if you've got a religious cult in a compound in Texas and you want to have sex with children without the feds getting up your ass? You're going to need to be armed.
Now that's true.
Wait a minute. Hold on. We have to go back about 17 years. That was a David Koresh reference. If anybody didn't. It's never going to get banned because our crazy cracker president has to make sure crazy crackers who are in this NRA thing vote for him. It's about 50 million of them in it, so he's not going to ban this. You got to keep him happy because no one else is happy with the president right now. Unless, like, you better hope North Korea attacks so that he can have another war to have, so that people like him again. Because right now, those are the only people that are going to vote for him, and that's why he can't. He has to make sure that.
Well, that's a good point. But let me ask you this too: what about the fact that But no, that's a good point. All right. Damn it. Let's move on to the next part.
What about the fact that he just called that reference dated, then followed it up with the word cracker?
You still say
I never say that.
Not you, but I'm saying white guys.
Just in the green room.
The whole idea of these guns, I don't understand why people think that there's an unlimited right to bear arms. I mean, in the Second Amendment, you get the right to bear arms because we need a well-regulated militia. That's what it says. And I don't think a bunch of rednecks blowing up watermelons with grenade launchers is a militia.
Yeah,
but in fairness, let's take this case, what just happened today. Yanko Rosenbaum, the Jewish Hasidic kid that got killed, got stabbed to death by Lemrick Nelson, your cousin, I believe. Okay, I'm not sure. But if he had a gun, the NRA would say if he had a gun, he might not have died. Now, that kid stabbed with a knife, so at least he wasn't breaking the law.
Why would they have said that? What do you mean by that?
What I'm saying is that people talk easily about, guns should be banned. But if I'm living in the middle of nowhere in some place in Idaho and I got my family there, you get the creeps if you're from New York. A bunch of crickets, a bunch of psychos out there. You want to have a gun and protect your family, man.
Yeah, I don't think guns should be banned completely.
From psycho serial killers. From what?
That only live in the woods? What are you watching?
They live in the woods.
What is 13 part 6? Stupid. You don't.
People get killed.
Oh yeah, right? Really? Ban hockey mask too.
There's no serial killers.
And they're all up in Idaho in the woods.
Wherever they are. The point is,
LA and
LA too.
New York.
If the Night Stalker, whatever his name was, Richard Ramirez came into your house, you like to blow his brains out. So she said, no guns, but that son of a bitch, did you ever see him?
Isn't the Night Stalker older than I Waco reference?
I think the Night Stalker was around the time of the Waco guy, actually, correct? You know what's killing us? Those stupid Discovery Channel specials. We're all living 15 years in the past.
Don't you think the reason America hasn't had an internal revolution besides the Civil War is that the police know everyone's armed and they're afraid to attack?
The police are not attack us. You can read those damn right left wing.
The police are waiting to attack?
Well, yes, sure they are.
No, you have that discussion amongst yourselves.
I will.
They're not ready to attack anybody.
Hey, all I know is the last time we argued about police brutality, I walked out of the cellar into McDougal, and 5 scared young black youths scared of getting shot by the cops were yelling, white bastard, cop, cracker. This was a long time ago.
That's terms.
And the cops are just standing like this. Cops are standing like this, like looking at each other, like don't say anything. So please.
That's absolutely not true.
I swear
I wasn't even there and I know it's not true.
I swear on my mom. I swear. What do you mean it's not true?
They said cracker bastard and the cops.
They roll down the windows of the, whatever it was, SUV. And they roll down like this. The cops are right here, standing here on McDougal Street. And they go, yo, you white crack.
Are you sure that wasn't the song that was playing out the Jeep?
I swear to God, you're living in a dream world. Every white cop I know, all they say is, I'll never stop black people because I don't want to lose my job. That's what they say.
Really?
So let's not pretend it's just a delusion. Not all Boston.
And they say that when they're over your house eating cookies and having milk, right? Colin, I'll never hit one of them in the head again with a billy club. I'm sorry, that was an old reference too. Taser and block. Sorry about that. Billy club was...
We're going to be right back. We're right back after this massage. I'll say this much. Democracy is like alcohol. Not everyone can handle it. And you don't know what your tolerance level is until you take your first sip. Let's look at the family histories of newer democracies to see if they have a chance at drinking from the sweet chalice of freedom. In moderation, of course. Russia. Well, the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, and Russia's been trouble ever since. Nuclear weapons for sale, international prostitution rings, the mafia. We should have seen this one coming. From Peter the Great to Tsar Nicholas I to Joseph Stalin, Mother Russia hasn't met an iron fist she hasn't liked. At night, Russia dreams of being dominated by a strong ruler like myself. Is that what you want, Russia, huh? Are you a dirty girl? Who's been a naughty country? Say, Colin, I want you to clamp down on free speech, you little whore. Say, Colin, you can throw your political opponents in jail. Say it, Russia, say it. Serbia and Montenegro is one country. It used to be 2 countries, Serbia and Montenegro. But in February of this year, they joined forces to become Serbia and Montenegro. If you can't place Serbia and Montenegro on a map, it's in Eastern Europe where it shares a border with Bosnia and Herzegovina. It's like 101 Balkan nations over there, all right? Don't let those angel faces fool you. That whole playpen is trouble. World War I started in that playpen, but Serbia and Montenegro does have an endless supply of tall white guys who can shoot hoops. It's the only country that stops the NBA from being all black. The stands. Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan. This hot Muslim boy band from Central Asia fired its manager, the Soviet Union, back in 91, and it's been a bad episode of Behind the Music ever since. The boys have been accused of everything from harboring terrorists to polluting the Aral Sea. And then there's Tajikistan, the sensitive Stan, who broke hearts worldwide when he was arrested for trafficking heroin. What a disaster. Maybe the Stans can get Russia to take them back. All right, now, here she is, our swaddling babe, Iraq. A democracy since last month. She's in stable condition in a preemie ward, being tended to by Doctors Rumsfeld and Bush. What a cutie pie. We gotta be careful with this one. The Shiite Muslims want to make Iraq an Islamic democracy. That's not good enough for my little puddin'. Look, it's a tough road, this democracy. Lots of countries can't handle it. Iraq's gonna need a lot of help. We just gotta make sure that America gets full custody. No visits from Russia or any other country that bailed on the war unless they're supervised by us. Folks, fat people are demanding an end to discrimination against them. Ugly people, I couldn't seem to get that off the ground, but we're going to talk about that sometime soon. Soon, they're actually doing this march in Washington, I believe, unless this was a joke, but I thought it was serious, called the $1 Million March. Is that true? I swear to God. What other groups should be protected from discrimination and why? Patrice O'Neill.
Aside from black people, leave Indians from India alone. I know they look like suicide bombers, but they're not. No terrorists wear sweatpants and 2 socks and tuxedo shoes with such pride. And do you think a woman who hated this country could give out bourbon chicken samples at the mall with such purpose? Leave them alone and leave these folks alone and let her worship the statue of the lady with the 6 arms and the Sinbad swords in peace.
Laurie Kilmartin.
This one is very personal to me, Colin. I want to stop drug dealers in Harlem from discriminating against the blonde, blue-eyed white woman who lives in their building. What's up, Mr. Jimenez? You think you can't sell me crack because I'm white? I have to take 2 trains and a bus to the East Village to buy my crack? When I knock on your door at 3 a.m. on a Thursday with a $10 bill in one hand and imaginary roaches crawling up the other, you think it's okay to say, sorry, store's closed, snowflake? No soy la policía, Mr. Jimenez. No soy la policía.
Greg Giraldo.
That was racist. We need to stop age discrimination. I tried to help my son find a part-time job recently, and no one would hire him because he's 2. It's shameful that in our country, children are denied a right that kids in Guatemala take for granted. Let's end all ageism. If a 15-year-old boy can have sex with a 15-year-old girl, then why can't R. Kelly? Ever heard of the Equal Protection Clause? Maybe the government shouldn't have a say in how a blossoming young woman chooses to deal with her daddy issues.
Oh, Jesus. It was well praised. Wow. Greg Fitzsimmons.
I think we got to stop discrimination in the strip clubs against strippers who have C-section scars. I mean, these are the women that need it. They have a child to support, not just a coke habit.
That's right.
The beautiful ones don't really need the money. Let's base our dollars we give away in strip clubs on needs. Now, I have a wife and a child. When I'm ass deep in a lap dance with a woman wearing nothing but body glitter and a fake smile, I want to know that my money's going to support a hungry child. Or 6. Because I'm all about family values.
Very good. True. I say, what's the matter?
No, nothing.
What are you belly aching about when I'm about to do my thing?
Sorry.
You think I'm that much of a cool pro? You can yell in my ear while I do it? I can, so go ahead. I would say that we should stop discrimination against the corny. there are a lot of corny people out there who just say the wrong thing all the time or do the wrong thing. They're never hip or cool enough for our slick little society. I think that if you want to listen to Michael Bolton or NSYNC or whatever, that should be your business. If you want to put up a, hang in there, baby, cat sign in your office, that is fine by me, all right? I mean, I've got my own streaks like that anyway. I personally can't get out of the house in the morning unless I high-five my framed poster of Captain Corelli's Mandolin. Great movie. And then I do deep knee bends while I blast One Night in Bangkok on my clock radio. We now return you to your regular, more attractive programming. Good night.